Drake Maye and the New England Patriots are officially in trouble, folks. When you really look at the Patriots roster and sort of break it down on the offensive and defensive sides of the football, they are in a lot of danger in a lot of, key skill positions. They need guys there that can make plays, that can produce, that can be good, reliable, consistent, and solid players for this New England team, but there's really not a lot of them, and I'm mainly going to be focused on talking about their offensive unit in this video. Their defense is truly nothing special. It's barely average, if we're being honest. They don't have the greatest pass rush in the world. They don't have the greatest secondary in the world. They don't have the best linebacking core in the world. We're not going to delve too deep into that, but their offense is going to, really be the biggest problem this team has. They don't have a wide receiver one. They don't have a star tight end to sort of lean on. They got one of the worst offensive lines in the league. They got a rookie quarterback. They don't have it's running back by committee. They got a couple of decent running backs. They got Ramondre Stevenson, I believe, and Antonio Gibson, former Washington player. So they have a couple of decent backs. It'll probably be running back by committee. And they have Jacoby Brissett as their backup quarterback. They drafted Joe Milton. I don't know where he sort of fits in, but Drake Maye will probably be penciled as a starter. I don't think that the New England Patriots should even bother starting Drake Maye, because with an offense this bad, if he plays poorly, I feel like a lot of New England fans are really going to, immediately point the finger at him and blame him for struggles with their offensive unit, which, when you have a terrible offensive line, a bottom 5 offensive line in the National Football League, when you have one of the worst, most below average receiving corps in the NFL, no star tight end, no running back by committee, you don't know, really what you're going to get out of this offense. You know it's going to be bad, but you don't know how bad your offense is going to be. I predict this is going to be a bottom 5 offense in the NFL when it comes to points scored. I don't know if they're even going to score 17 a game, because I think 17 a game is stretching it, really. We're looking more at 14, 13 points a game with this team. They do not have an offense. They have this, rocket arm gunslinger quarterback from North Carolina that can sling it all over the field, all the potential in the world, all the tools to succeed in the National Football League. But when you put him with a wide receiver core this unstable, with really no weapons, and a bad offensive line at best, it's a bad offensive line, there's a lot of sort of risk for hindering the development of Drake Maye as a quarterback. When you thrust a young QB into a situation this abhorrent and expect him to immediately thrive and succeed in the NFL, your expectations will instantly become unrealistic. Do not expect any sort of even average season from Drake Maye. If he has a positive touchdown to interception ratio, I will be fucking stunned, honestly. And if he starts, I'll be shocked, because if the coaching staff, if the coaching regime of the Patriots were smart, they would not even bother to put him in the first couple of weeks, because you don't want to feed him to the wolves this early in his career. You're going to be facing, all these defenses with this horrendous offense, with this offensive line that they're not going to be able to fucking block a damn pylon. They're basically going to be pylons. Receivers that can't get a yard of separation. Running backs that really are just underwhelming at best. Sure, Gibson is an okay back, and Ramondre Stevenson, is a decent running back, won the league. But let's be honest, they're not world beaters. They're not going to help your team take the next step in the run game. You don't have any established star players. And once again, when you look at their roster, I'll list some of these names they have on offense here. I got these pulled up on my phone here. Let me just read them out for you. They've got Antonio Gibson, they've got Ramondre Stevenson, they've got Jermichael Hasty, who's been around, Kevin Harris, he's pretty young. And then you go to the receivers. They got Javon Baker, who I believe they just drafted, Kendrick Bourne, Keyshawn Boutte, whatever the hell his name is. He's young and he's a scrub, if we're being honest. So Bourne is okay, I suppose. Javon Baker is unproven. Demario Douglas is unproven. Jalen Hurts old and will never see the field. KJ Osborne, he's okay, I suppose. He's a decent receiver. Rookie Jalen Polk, no expectation. Don't know how good he is. Jalen Reagor, who's a bust. Complete failure of a player. He's still 20. How is he? He's still 25. That's ridiculous. Juju, who is just no fucking speed, no route running ability. This guy will be out of the league in a couple of years. Tyquan Thornton, who is Tyquan Thornton. Let's be honest, he's not the great. He's real all speed, that's it. Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, so you have a okay tight end room, but once again, they're not going to help your young quarterback out. They're sort of aging tight ends that aren't really getting any better whatsoever. Then you've got the offensive line. You've got David Andrews, who is almost completely washed up. Jake Andrews to back him up, who is terrible. And then you got all the rest of these shitty offensive linemen, that like Nick Leverett and City So, Cole Strange, who was just another first-round, FCS bust at the guard position. You got Mike Onwenu, who is actually pretty good, but that's about where that ends. This offensive unit is just trash. This offense looks on paper to be a bottom 5 offensive core in the National Football League. Once again, don't expect more than 17 points a game with this team. They'll be lucky to score 17 points a game. And when you combine they have a rookie quarterback that's going to probably be starting for them week 1, it's only going to get worse. I'm not going to point the finger at Drake Maye because no one's going to succeed with this offense. And a lot of people would call me a hypocrite because I say, that's Bryce Young's fault that Carolina sucked. But when you look at how Bryce Young played, when Bryce Young got time to throw in the pocket, he looked very underwhelming and, just didn't look the greatest. So, if Drake Maye has those same problems where, he lacks anticipation on throws, lacks arm strength, doesn't look poised or comfortable in the pocket, and gets jittery, gets happy feet under pressure, I will rightfully call Maye out for that. But don't be surprised if that is the case. With Carolina, I was sort of surprised because a lot of people were talking up their offense like, oh, you got a lot of established veterans that are going to help Bryce Young out. And then weeks later, they were trashing these guys like they knew all along that their offense was going to be one of the most dismal offenses in the NFL. So they totally did a 360 switch on Carolina and their offense. People were praising, the veteran leadership, how they're going to help Bryce Young out, in his first season. And they turned on him 6 weeks into the damn season. It doesn't really make much sense to me. So don't turn on Drake Maye. I'm not going to turn on Drake Maye. I'm just going to tell it how it is. I'm not going to turn on their offense because I already know there's no offense to turn on because I already know they fucking suck. And don't be surprised when they do indeed fucking suck because they look on paper trash and they're going to be trash. If this team wins 5 games, I'll be shocked. I'll be fucking completely and utterly stunned with their underwhelming defense, their bad offense. Nobody even really knows or cares about their special teams. Mayo is their coach, I believe. I don't know how good he is going to be as a head coach in the National Football League. We are yet to see that. So all these sort of unproven commodities here in one place is not a recipe for success in the NFL. Thank you all for watching. This has been Mr. Truth, and this was nothing but the truth.